The Judgment Infrastructure Podcast, Episode 2: Why the Scale Lie, the Hidden Infrastructure of the Body Composition. Welcome back to the Judgment Infrastructure Podcast. In the previous episode, we explored the GLP-1 revolution and why obesity treatment has become one of the most powerful forces in modern healthcare. Today, we examine something deceptively simple, a device that's almost everyone's own, the bathroom scale. For decades, the scale has been treated as the primary measurement of the health progress. Lose weight and you are healthier. Gain weight and something is wrong. But this assumption hides a critical problem. The scale measures mass. It does not measure metabolic function. And when healthcare systems rely on the wrong measurement, the entire strategy built on top of that measurement becomes distorted. So today we ask a simple but powerful question. Why does the scale lie? To answer this, we will apply the framework used throughout this podcast, the 2080 rule and the 5 why. Because when we analyze systems structurally, the truth becomes clearer. Part 1. The measurement problem. Let us begin with the instrument itself. A bathroom scale measures one variable, total body mass. That must include fat, muscle, bone, water, organ, glycogen storage. The scale does not distinguish between them. To the scale, losing 3 kilograms of fat is identical to losing 3 kilograms of muscle. The numbers decline, but the biological consequences are completely different. This is where many weight loss strategies fail, because the body is not a simple container of weight. It is a metabolic system. And metabolic systems depend heavily on body composition. Two people can weigh exactly the same, but their metabolic health can be completely different. One may have high muscle mass, low visceral fat, strong insulin sensitivity. The other may have low muscle mass, high visceral fat, and metabolic dysfunction. The scale cannot detect this difference. Yet healthcare systems have relied on it for decades. This creates a structural error, a measurement problem, and in engineering or economics, when measurement is flawed, decision-making inevitably follows the wrong direction. Part 2. The 20% variable drive metabolic health. Now we apply the 2080 rule. In complex systems, a small number of variables usually determine the majority of outcome. Metabolic health is no exception. 4 variables account for a large portion of metabolic resilience. Let us examine them. First, skeletal muscle, the metabolic engine. Skeletal muscle is often treated as a cosmetic issue, but biologically it is one of the most important organs in metabolic regulation. Muscle tissue performs several critical functions. It absorbs glucose from the bloodstream. It improves insulin sensitivity. It increases resting metabolic rate. It stabilizes blood sugar fluctuation. In simple terms, muscle is metabolic infrastructure. The more functional muscle tissue a person maintains, the greater their metabolic capacity. This is why resistance training is so powerful. It strengthens the metabolic engine itself. Unfortunately, many weight loss programs ignore this variable. When calorie restrictions occur without resistance training or adequate protein intake, the body may lose both fat and muscle. The scale goes down. Metabolic capacity decline, which means the system becomes weaker over time. Second, insulin sensitivity. Insulin is the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. When insulin sensitivity is strong, cells respond efficiently. Glucose enters muscle cell and is used as fuel. But when insulin resistance develops, this system becomes inefficient. Glucose remains in the bloodstream. The body compensates by producing more insulin, and over time, this contributes to fat storage, energy crash, and metabolic disease. Improving insulin sensitivity requires several structural interventions: physical activity, muscle development, stable nutrition pattern, adequate sleep. Again, none of these are visible on the scale, but they are central to metabolic health. Third, visceral fat. Not all fat is equal. Subcutaneous fat lies beneath the skin. Visceral fat surrounds internal organs. Visceral fat is metabolically active and strongly associated with cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, inflammation. Two individuals can have identical body weight, yet one may carry high visceral fat while the other carry mostly subcutaneous fat. The scales treat them as identical. Biology does not. This is why body composition analysis matters. Fourth, activity level. Human physiology evolved in an environment of constant movement: walking, lifting, climbing, carrying. Modern environments have removed much of this movement. Many people now live inside systems optimized for convenience rather than biological health. Low activity level reduce energy expenditure and weaken metabolic flexibility. Even moderate increase in daily movement can significantly improve metabolic health. But again, the scale cannot detect this variable, which means the most important metabolic drivers are largely invisible if weight becomes the only measurement. Part 3. The 5 Why of Weight-Centric Healthcare. Now, let us ask the deeper question: why did healthcare system adopt such a narrow measurement in the first place? We apply the 5 why. Why 1? Why do doctors often focus on body weight? Because weight is extremely easy to measure. The scale is inexpensive. The number appears instantly, and the measurement is simple to record in clinical setting. Why 2? Why is way easier to measure than body composition. Because historically, body composition tools were expensive and difficult to access. Technologies such as DEXA scan, hydrostatic weighing, and advanced imaging require specialized facility. As a result, healthcare systems defaulted to the simplest available metric. Why 3? Why did healthcare adopt BMI as a universal indicator? Because BMI was designed as a population-level statistical tool. It allowed researchers to categorize large groups quickly, but the tool designed for population research gradually became used for individual diagnosis. This shift created a significant distortion. BMI does not distinguish between muscle and fat. An athlete with high muscle mass may appear overweight according to BMI. A sedentary individual with low muscle mass may appear normal, yet their metabolic health may be worse. Why 4? Why did the healthcare system not evolve earlier? Because healthcare systems historically focus on treating disease, not optimizing metabolic infrastructure. Measurement tools evolve slowly when the system incentive emphasize treatment rather than prevention. Why 5? Why is the shift happening now? Because technology is finally making continuous metabolic monitoring possible. Devices such as continuous glucose monitor, wearable activity tracker, body composition analyzer, digital health platform are transforming how metabolic health can be observed. The infrastructure is changing, and when infrastructure changes, measurement evolves. Part 4. The emerging metabolic dashboard. The future of metabolic health will not rely on a single number. Instead, it will resemble a dashboard. Multiple variables monitored together. These may include body composition, skeletal muscle mass, glucose stability, activity level, sleep quality, nutritional patterns. This approach resembles engineering systems. Engineers do not monitor a complex machine with a single measurement. They observe multiple indicators simultaneously. Healthcare is gradually moving in the same direction. Medications such as GLP-1 drugs may help initiate weight loss, but long-term metabolic resilience requires monitoring the entire system. Which brings us to the core insight of today's episode. Conclusion. For decades, the scale has been treated as a symbol of health progress. But the scale measures only mass. It does not measure metabolic function. The real driver of metabolic health include skeletal muscle, insulin sensitivity, visceral fat distribution, physical activity pattern. These variables form the metabolic infrastructure of the body, and infrastructure cannot be reduced to a single number. The future of healthcare will likely move away from weight-centric thinking toward metabolic intelligence, where pharmacology, nutrition, exercise, and measurement operate together. Because when systems are measured correctly, better decisions follow. Next week, we shift from biology to economics. We examine the pharmaceutical race that turned metabolic medicine into one of the largest markets in history. Episode 3: Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and the economics of obesity. Because behind every medical revolution lies an economic infrastructure. And understanding that infrastructure reveals where the world may be heading next. This is the Judgment Infrastructure podcast, where we analyze the system beneath the headline using the 2080 rules and the 5 why. Because when you understand infrastructure, you understand the future.